Yes, yes, you are tuned in to the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. It's finally Friday. Thank God it's Friday, the 17th of October, 2025, and it's Friday, everybody. We are streaming on Rumble. We are streaming on X. We are streaming on YouTube. And we are streaming at the mothership, WYAB.com. If you can't tune into the radio signal, you can always catch us online. I'd appreciate a follow on Twitter if you're on Twitter, or X as it's called now. It's just at Andrew Gosser, at AndrewGasser. The phone number today, phone lines are open, 601-879-0002. Text lines are open, 601-879-5060. When the righteous increase, the people rejoice. But when the wicked rule, the people groan. And I'm just looking at all the news that just happened over the last 24 hours. And I'm like, we are out of control. We are living by no guardrails, no morals, no values. It's just the craziness that's out there is insane. Look, next week coming up, Turning Point USA event on the 29th. I've tweeted it out. I hope everybody who wants to go can go to that. It's going to be lit. Vice President J.D. Vance is going to be there. Erica Kirk is going to be there. It's a full-fledged A-team. It's going to be great. Before we get into the stories today, we got our Netflix tracker. Netflix is up today, almost 0.75%. 1 day's looking good. 5 days still a little down. 1 month is still a little bit down. 6 months is up. Year to date is up, really up. And it's doing. Netflix is doing well. I think America is going to keep plugged into their Netflix for a while. I know we don't like cuties. I know we don't like watching the other stuff there, but Netflix has got a run on the market. The place that I really wanted to start today is in Mississippi and our education system, because we cannot deny the Mississippi miracle. We know that good things are happening. We know that there's a lot more that could be done, that should be done. Everybody knows at least 5 times a week, at least once a day, I'll complain about a school board and how our school boards are not as conservative as we'd like. And unfortunately, our schools are being used as a petri dish in a laboratory, in a science experiment. Our school boards are so screwed up. And the truth of the matter is our society is screwed up. We all are short, right? We all have shortcomings. I'm sure if anybody scanned a phone, I'm not saying you'd find anything derogatory or negative, but there'd be something where you'd be like, I wish I didn't say that. I'll tell you what, our society right now, if you type it into a computer, you type it into your cell phone, just consider that published on the front page of the Wall Street Journal. Whether it be the young Republicans or this guy from Virginia, Jay, whatever his name is. There is so much gotcha politics out there, so much, aha, I finally got you. You're going down. That we've completely lost sight of why we're doing what we're doing in the first place. One of my good friends who was working at NASA, but with SpaceX back before Falcon 9 was really flying, he would always say, remember why you're doing it. Remember why you're doing it. And if you're doing something and it's not for the right reasons, well, then maybe you ought to reconsider what you're doing. Sometimes I have an idea of where the show's going to go, and it lays itself out. Today, it went down a different alleyway, a different route. But I think it's important to go here because so many in this listening area are victims of the two-tier justice system, where you see people who have influence, who are connected to the political class, who are the who's who in the zoo. They get the good deals when they have to go up in front of the judge. And people like you and me, well, we're going to get smoked. We're going to get hammered. We're going to have the book thrown at us, and there won't be any leniency. There won't be any mercy. I did not even say that, you know, whatever it is you're in front of the judges, everybody would appreciate leniency and mercy, but sometimes that's not what's supposed to happen. But that's exactly what happened in DeSoto County, everybody. This is coming from, of course, the Magnolia Tribune, Russ Latino. Lindsay Whiteside's DeSoto County sexual predator case reveals an infuriating double standard, dark underbelly of school politics. Well, that's a pretty good headline. That's going to get somebody to click. That's for sure. So +1 there. But you're right. School politics, what's going on at your school board? Dude, that's like a special kind of something right there. And the truth of the matter is these school board races are not even that difficult to run and win. But we get in these habits and these patterns. Well, that's Miss Barbara. She's been there forever. She knows what's going on. She's doing a great job. And they just go on and continue on going down the road just like nothing's wrong. But there is something wrong. Lindsay Whiteside, a 26-year-old youth pastor and assistant basketball coach, hails from a prominent family in DeSoto County. On Monday, she appeared before a special judge, Andrew Howarth, and pled guilty to sex with a minor female over whom she exercised an authoritarian relationship. Well, I'm reading that, and I'm like, she gone. She's going to go do time in the penitentiary. We protect our children. We don't want them exposed to this kind of stuff. We really protect our little girls even more than little boys. It's true. Prosecutors had over 60,000 messages and documents showing Whiteside groomed her victim over a prolonged period before initiating an extended sexual relationship. She admitted to it all. District Attorney Matthew Barton sought 30 years. Horwath gave Whiteside no time, just house arrest. What the hell? You want to know why people disrespect the country, why they disrespect the legal system, why they disrespect authority? Is because of stuff like this. And Russ, I don't know how you put this together so quick, but I'm just giving you full props for this. I'm going to commentate on it, but at the same time, this is what real journalism is, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's in the opinion section, but this is getting back and just putting those facts out there. You and I will make the determination. Barton contends that the sentence is illegal under Mississippi law and called it an abomination of justice. Appellate courts will decide the first part, but he's absolutely right on the second part. This is an abomination. What kind of message are we sending? Where a semi-attractive 26-year-old lesbian teacher pastor can groom girls and get house arrest. But if it was any of us, we'd be up the creek without a paddle and a hole in the boat. If you know, you know. But don't take my word for it. We've got direct evidence, and it just all comes together so quickly. Former coach in Mississippi gets 30 years for sex crimes against a teen boy. A former assistant basketball coach at Clinton Christian Academy has been sentenced for decades behind bars after pleading guilty to sex crimes against a teen student athlete. Willie Alexander's junior crimes were first reported in June of 2022. The victim's mother reported to Clinton police and her son had told her of Alexander's abuse. The 14-year-old boy told his mother that the abuse had been going on for months at Alexander's home in Clinton. The teen said that Alexander forced him to participate in repeated sexual acts. We're not going to get into all that. Attempting to normalize them by offering gifts. The teen reportedly traveled with Alexander to Dallas, Texas, and New Orleans with planned additional trip to Disney World. Man, if someone's taking my kid to Disney World, to Dallas, to New Orleans, isn't that gonna just, like, kinda make you think about it for a minute? Like, what the heck's going on here? I don't know if they were back basketball tournaments, football, whatever he was in, he said as a coach. I'm gonna leave out this next paragraph, but it is just all the salacious details that I don't need to necessarily say, but this guy was clearly had a predetermined plan to record everything and just bad dude. A van at the home also contained different types of paraphernalia and a quote unquote silicone device. Let you figure that out. Alexander was later taken into custody of the Clinton Police Department, and he pled guilty to sexual battery and 2 counts of exploitation of a minor. He was found guilty on all points and sentenced to 30 years. 30 years. I think that's a good sentence for abusing a child. I think abusing any children, boys or girls, they all need to face the hammer. But this is a big problem too. And I don't mean to bring race into it, but it is what it is, right? Willie Alexander Jr. is a black middle-aged man. This Lindsay Whiteside is a 26-year-old white woman youth pastor and basketball coach who cleans up nicely. How is that fair? How can honestly anybody in Mississippi think that this is justice? What was what has just happened in DeSoto County? Where is the remedy? Where is the relief? It gets better. This is Russ's opinion. He said, if Lindsay Whiteside had been a man, pitchforks would have been raised. There would have been calls to lock him up and throw away the key, and the talk of castration or worse. But for some reason, if it's a cutish white woman and is a child predator, society sloughs it off or even makes a joke out of it. There are some men who make jokes about that. No one would make an excuse for a dude. They call him a pedophile. The Whiteside case represents an abhorrent double standard. And yes, it is a double standard. Maybe not necessarily what I would have thought an initial double standard was, but it is. We are going to take our first break, but when we get back, we're just getting locked into this. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We will be right back.
.9 WYAB.
Would you like the convenience of a sunglass clip that fits your eyeglass frame? Hi, it's Bruce from Eye Gear Optical, and I've heard you asking, so I stocked up on them. Come choose from our selection of Revolution eyewear frames with magnetic sun clips at fantastic prices. For about the same price as a regular eyeglass frame, you can have the best of both worlds while they last. Come see me and I'll customize a pair just for you at Eye Gear Optical, 2630 Highway 80 East in Pearl, and on the web at eyegearoptical.com.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
You can show your pride and patriotism in honor of the 250th birthday of this great nation by proudly flying a flag. And a complete flag source on I-55 in Jackson is the place to find it. All sizes for all purposes. And they have the official 250-year celebration flag. Have a look at CompleteFlags.com. That's CompleteFlags.com.
Whether new construction or remodeling, Stephen Arrington and his team at Elite Custom Construction can design and build your dream kitchen and cabinets, inside and outside. Using high-quality products, Elite Custom Construction specializes in cabinetry and intricate millwork. Established in 2011, licensed and insured, Elite Custom Construction is your solution to your next project. Call Stephen at 601-927-0552 or visit them online at elitecustomconstruction.net.
Hi, everyone. This is Matt Wazlowski, owner and general manager of 1039 WYAB. How much money does the state of Mississippi spend on advertising? A little over $10 million each and every year. Apparently, some people think that it's vitally important for the state of Mississippi to promote the Memorial Stadium, the Department of Marine Resources, soybean and rice products, MDOT, the State Fair, and the worst category of all, miscellaneous advertising expenditures for who knows what. And who pays for it all? In most cases, you, the taxpayer. I find that absolutely abhorrent. That's why 1039 WYAB refuses to accept advertising dollars from state government agencies. If you ever do hear a state agency advertising on WYAB, we're not getting paid for it. We stay on the air due to the support of the many businesses that you hear advertising every day on 1039 WYAB. So I only ask that you please tell our advertisers that you appreciate their support of 1039 WYAB. And keep listening.
This is Jack Hoffman. For nearly 31 years, Tico Steakhouse has been a staple of fine dining in Jackson, Mississippi. Dad has long since desired for me to come work alongside him. And now that I'm here, I would like to invite you to come experience our family tradition of our hospitality, sizzling steaks, and healthy poured beverages. Our dining rooms are open and we are taking reservations. Our private rooms are also available along with takeout. Call today or stop in and experience Tico's in the second generation.
Tico's Steakhouse, East County Line Road in Ridgeland, 601-956-1030.
Hello, I'm Gary Jolly from the Tractor Store. LS Tractor understands your passion for the land, and just like you, LS Tractor is committed to excellence and superior products. LS Tractor comes with a long list of standard features that are unmatched by other brands and backed with the LS commitment to provide exceptional customer service and satisfaction. You get a lot more for your money with the LS Tractor. Come to the Tractor Store in Richland to experience the LS difference. The Tractor Store in Richland.
And we are back on the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. We are talking about the craziness that's going on with these sexual assaults in our schools. And the great thing about this listening audience is that if there's an error that is made, it gets corrected. Y'all let me know. And I just want to take this correction in, and this is coming in from Chris Hinkle. And it's important. Make sure to get and this is what he tells me, make sure to get the illegal activity correct. So this is not pedophilia. Pedophilia means that it is prepubescent. I'm just going to leave it at that. These are sexual assaults. And so if I kind of confused anybody with that, I genuinely apologize. I did learn. And perhaps next time before I start getting into all this legal stuff, I'll make sure to run it by some people who have been dealing with these kinds of things a lot longer than I have, because they understand the language and whatnot. But we were talking about the difference between the two. Remember that this Miss Lindsay Whiteside hails from a predominant family in DeSoto County. So she was able to go ahead and use that predominance to get a good deal. Unfortunately for Mr. Alexander, he was born black. You ain't changing that. I'm not changing what I'm born. I'm born a white male. It's just what I am. But Alexander was born black, a man, and lacking the kind of prominent family that can draw character references for an admitted child predator and one who's committed sexual assault. Can't say the P word there. That's actually really good to know. How many people get running around calling people pedos, and technically, by the definition of the law, they're not. It's just sexual assault. The algorithm going to love this one on the stream. But we say what needs to be said. We don't hold back. District Attorney Barton. Okay, so this is the district attorney up there in DeSoto County. Listen to this. District Attorney Barton is fighting to have the letters sent to sway Judge Howarth unsealed. He contends they include character references from 9 teachers, 1 vice principal, and 1 school board member. Think about that. These people, it's not that they love education. They are part of a cult. They are part of a cult. Sitting school board member Michelle Henley is facing calls for her resignation. You know, when something like this happens, you would think that we would, number one, we wouldn't rush to judge, that we make sure we gather all the facts, that we sit down and have a reasonable walkthrough of what actually happened, and then figure out the administrative way ahead, whether that be judicial, administrative, or other. What is really kind of sick and disgusting about the school board member is that the letter makes it clear that Michelle Henley, the school board member, was writing as a member of the school board. It's how she identifies herself at its opening. It also makes clear that she's writing on behalf of Whiteside. So here's the thing with that. You've got a judge, and you could say whatever you want about judges are political. They're always thinking about stuff. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just what it is. Here you've got a judge who's in political circles, and now you have this highly influential political predominant family in DeSoto saying, "Hey, judge, our daughter's coming in front of you. We need a deal." And that's literally what's happening. I'm not saying there's direct contact like that, but you know that is happening. We're not dumb. We're not stupid. Listen to what this lady says about this woman who sexually abused a minor that she groomed. To the Honorable Judge Andrew K. Howarth, my name is Michelle Henley. I am a mother and a member of DeSoto County School Board. How, as a mother, can you write something like this? Michelle, if this was your daughter, would you be sitting there thinking this? If it was your daughter that was abused? Maybe you don't have a daughter, maybe you have a son. Doesn't matter. If I am a father and my child is abused by anybody, I'm going to be ticked. And if someone were to ask me for a character reference on something like that, I'd be like, dude, you are on your own. Let's have Bible study, but you are going to have to go face this on your own. You did it. You got to own up to it. Earn it. I am writing on behalf of Lindsay Whiteside. I have known the Whiteside family for many years. Isn't that always how it is? Oh, I've known Andrew for 25 years. Not a bad word to say about anybody. Letter continues. However, in the past 5 years, I have had the privilege of getting to know them better. Being on the school board, I got to know Gail better, as well as her children. 4 years ago, I asked Gail if Lindsay would coach my daughter in basketball because she wanted to try out for the middle school team. Lindsay gladly agreed. She worked one-on-one with my daughter to practice and improve her skills. Lindsay was always encouraging, supportive, and helpful during their training sessions. Honestly, it sounds to me like this in of itself would be just fine, but now knowing what she did to that other girl, was she grooming this girl too? She continuously gave my daughter pointers on how to improve her game while encouraging her in every step along the way. When my daughter made the team, she went to Lindsay we sent Lindy a text to tell her. She was so excited for my daughter and again encouraged her to keep working hard to get better every day. Middle school can be hard for a young person. I am happy to say that Lindy's encouragement and support helped my daughter not only make the team, but have a wonderful middle school experience. Thank you for your time and consideration. Absolutely nothing about the diabolical crime that she committed, that she admitted to. Nothing about the damage that happens to that school district. Nothing about the damage that it does to other coaches and teachers inside that school district. I mean, where is society today? We talk about common sense. This is just common sense. You just don't do this. And this woman is somebody who's voting on the budget for your education, your public education in DeSoto County. You wonder why there's a group of us out there who want school choice. I agree with it. And everybody knows that when I talk about this, and don't worry, we're getting to the school choice part, but I have to admit, and I will say this, Clay Edwards and the people who oppose school choice on the grounds that they don't want their schools enlarging to take people from outside the school district. If the school district says they need 150 seats in their classrooms, then hey, that's what they're going to have. Not more. There's a real problem that could occur there, and Clay articulates it very well. We'll have to continue to talk about that. And we'll have to continue to talk about this, but right now, I need to go hit my break. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We will be right back.
.1039 WYAB.
Fox News commentary with Joe Concha. Next.
If your cash is sitting in a savings account, it's at risk. Old school advice says save more, but today the strategy is broken. When inflation spikes, they print money or cut rates, your dollar shrinks. So do your savings. The solution? Own something real. Physical gold and silver. When the dollar drops, gold and silver prices rise. And with Noble Gold, owning gold is simple. Just visit noblegoldinvestments.com and chat with a specialist. The knowledge is free. The protection is priceless. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult your financial advisor before making investment decisions.
Here's Joe Concha.
Well, apparently the left is tapping into progressive gym bros in order to make the party look tougher. Where the story loses me is where you hear the part that they're getting paid thousands of dollars to put up said workout videos. There's just nothing organic about it. It's just all scripted and rehearsed like everything we seem to see out of the Democratic Party on social media these days. And look, going back to Jimmy Carter and Michael the Tank Dukakis, Democrats are never going to appeal here tough. Remember, John Kerry went windsurfing. Barack Obama can't throw a baseball 40 feet. And Joe Biden can't walk from here to there without falling down. This is an image problem the party won't overcome by a few influencers flexing on TikTok. This is decades in the making.
For more commentary like this, go to foxnewspodcast.com.
If you've had an accident, remember Clinton Body Shop. We work for you, not your insurance company. Don't be misled by someone telling you that you will have to pay more than your deductible. Our shops hold multiple certifications from the makers of today's vehicles. We are the longest running ICAR Gold Class certified repair facility in Mississippi. We know how to repair your vehicle, and we will work with your insurance company on your behalf. In Clinton and in Richland, we work for you. We take pride in perfection.
Have you been injured through no fault of your own? Do you know your rights? Don Evans does. Do you really believe that the insurance company would disclose all information to you? Don Evans will make sure that you are fully informed. It costs nothing to discuss your case. From car wrecks to malpractice, Don Evans will make you and your family whole again. Don Evans won't ever charge unless he collects for you. Call Don for a free, no-obligation consultation at 601-969-2006.
Pure Air Consultants has always been your go-to for reliable and affordable heating and cooling systems, and now we are offering day and night brand to avoid the 25 to 30% increases that everyone is talking about. With day and night, Pure Air Consultants professionals can install a reliable system with a 10-year system warranty, and right now receive $20 off on service diagnostic fees. Call us today, 601-939-7420, mypureairconsultants.com.
Men, if you answer yes to any of these questions, you could be suffering from low testosterone. Do you have low sex drive? ED, always tired, depressed, loss of muscle mass, obese, loss of focus and drive? You, my friends, need to get your numbers checked. Check out Men's Health of Mississippi, located in Madison, Mississippi, and online at menshealthms.com. Guys, get your numbers checked today. Trust me, she'll thank you for it. I promise. menshealthms.com. Men's Health of Mississippi.
If you want the best health care, where do you go? The Mayo Clinic. If you want the best care for your vehicle, where do you go? Mayo Auto Clinic in Raymond. Mayo Auto Clinic does foreign and domestic vehicles and diesel repair. Mayo Auto Clinic has ASE certified techs with over 25 years of experience. You can extend the life of your car or truck when you take it to Mayo Auto Clinic. For cost-effective repairs and maintenance, go to the best, Mayo Auto Clinic. Open weekdays at 7 a.m. Highway 18 in Raymond.
Oh, yeah. It's only in Mississippi where you're going to hear the Andrew Gosser Show over the WYAB airwaves 103.9. If you want to be part of the show today, the number is 601-879-0002. We've been talking about the difference between the two cases of sexual abuse in schools. One was in a private school, one was in a public school. Interesting. The one in the public school gets a light deal. The one who's in the private school gets no mercy, gets the full extent of the law, which is good. It should have happened in the other one, in the case in DeSoto County. 10 other members of the DeSoto County Schools facility felt inclined to offer Whiteside support. 10 other ones besides the school board member. Russ thinks it's disturbing. I don't think it's disturbing as much as I think that it's a sad commentary of our public discourse today, where we don't really know where our moral boundaries start and stop, where we don't really have the authority or the ability anymore to go up to some of these young kids who are acting the fool and say, "What the heck are you doing?" We don't have that right now in our society. And it's brutal, and it's having a terrible effect on us. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Call this what it is. Pedophilia. This is a cautionary tale that reminds you that parents.
Hey, Chris, can you call me right back? Or Eric, can you call me right back? You got a bad connection, man, friend.
Here,
I think that's Eric giving me a call. I want to make sure that we have a good connection with him, and that was just a little bit too scratchy for my liking. He'll be back in just a second. But long story short is the difference between these two situations. One's a female, 26, white, lesbian, having a sexual relationship with a minor, and the one is an older black man having a sexual relationship with a young boy. So, and Eric says he's going to call back in like 5 minutes. He's driving through a rough spot. Got it. Superintendent Uselton, man, some of these last names just get me, responds with meaningless word salad. On Thursday, the October 16th, the DeSoto County School Board will meet at 10 a.m., preempting the meeting. DeSoto County Superintendent Corey Uselton released a letter attempting to kind of smooth over the family's anger. Every child deserves in an environment where they are safe, valued, and respected, and that belief is at the heart of every decision that is made. Well, if you think that, we would be following our Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Mississippi. It sure would be nice if our kids were taught Proverbs every day of the school year. I'll tell you what, Proverbs is a great way. Even if you're not Jewish or you're not a Christian, just read the wisdom of Proverbs and start living that life and see if it doesn't change you. Even when employees' personal opinions do not align with the district's values, school districts are bound by employment laws that protect the due process and clearly define when and how disciplinary action can be taken. With that being said, complying with the employment law does not mean that DeSoto County Schools agrees with or supports the actions of any employees whose behavior conflicts with our own core values. Well, I'm just telling you this, Miss Whiteside, she is on her own program. And we have mentally ill people like this woman who are teaching our kids. It's what it is. Can we just call it for what it is? It's mental illness. I'm 53. I'm a dude. I can't comprehend how someone could do what they did. Why do I think differently than so many other people out there? Russ is really fired up over this. He actually mouths out a curse word, horse crap. We'll just call it that. And this is the letter from DeSoto County Schools to the parents and the guardians of their student body. And honestly, you just have to read it. And I know it takes time, but the truth is if we do not see just how fake and false this all is, it's like The Fifth Element. Remember that movie back in the day, The Fifth Element, with the president who all heck's breaking loose and the world's falling down and he's just sitting there making his campaign speeches. It's like the king has no clothes. They have no idea. And look, you're going to have the crazy people on the left who think it's okay to practice all this stuff. And I don't agree with it, but that's just who it is. But everybody else, the 80% of us who thinks it's wrong for something like this to happen, we have to look and see what the people who are in charge of these institutions are doing and saying. And if they're not meeting the expectation, if they're not meeting the standard, if they're not cutting the mustard, it's time to let them go. This is from the Superintendent of Education. Dear parents and guardians, over the past several days, I have heard from many parents who are deeply concerned about the individual court statements that were outlined in the district attorney's press conference Monday afternoon. I completely understand the concerns that have been expressed this week. As both an educator and a parent, I share your outrage at any act of harm or any act that harms a child. I want to state clearly and unequivocally that neither I nor DeSoto County Schools condone, support, or excuse such behavior in any form. We'll see. We'll see how this continues out, but let's take this phone call. Hey, go ahead. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Is this better?
A little bit. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, just call this what it is. It's pedophilia. It's evil. It's the worst crime you can commit on a child. It hurts them mentally, spiritually, and physically for the rest of their lives.
I agree with that, but
the Democratic Party loves to use that little slogan, it takes a village to raise them. No, it takes a mom and dad. It's your job to protect them from the village because you don't know everyone in the village. And you can't just assume that everyone has your child's best interest in mind. It's your job to take care of them. Because now you got two little kids that are going to have to deal with this the rest of their life because of someone they thought was their friend. Make no mistake, it is your job, mom and dad. Not just mom and dad.
Yep. And I'm not arguing with you. The reason I'm correcting it in saying it's not pedophilia is because it's a mental condition in which an adult experiences sexual attraction to prepubescent children. And that's the key. Both of these kids were past that. That's why it's sexual abuse and not pedophilia.
But it's still the same. I mean, the answer is the same.
I'm not
arguing at home.
I'm not arguing that, Brother Eric, but let me tell you why I'm going down this road. And I'd like your opinion on this to see if you agree with me or not. What will happen is there's going to be some left-wing nutter out there who's going to say they don't even know the difference between these two different things. And they just find one thing to figure out what you're incorrect about. And then they rip it open and then they just try to throw away your whole argument because I didn't have the definition of a crime right. That's why I said that. But I definitely agree with you, and you have righteous anger to be ticked off about this. And dude, I haven't even hit the other 4 stories that I have on this yet. It's ridiculous.
Whatever makes everyone happy. I have no issue with that at all.
Yep.
The answer is the same.
Yep.
It starts at home. It ends at home. It's mom and dad. You have to raise your children. You have to protect your children from everyone.
I can't.
So whatever you want to call it, I'm fine with that. I'll never argue that.
Yep.
A crime is a crime, and it's obviously mental illness. Either way, it's mental illness. It's evil. It boils down to evil. It's Satan at its finest. I mean, I can't think of a worse crime.
It's evil stuff. And, the first thing is the best job title that I've ever personally got was that of dad or father or dinosaur, right? That's like the greatest.
When my wife told me she was pregnant with our first child, I grew up. That was the end of playtime. I was focused for 20 years after that of taking care of them. I got 2 daughters. They're in college. They're great people. And I contributed to me and my wife focusing on raising them to our best ability. We didn't need help. We didn't need the village to help us. God intuitively put it into us how to raise these children.
Yep. And,
That's all I got. I just wanted to add that. I love your show.
Dude, thank you. I appreciate you in the chat, man.
Fight.
I'll continue to fight the good fight. And, dude, call back anytime.
Thank you.
But, and he's totally right. And Eric's anger and everything like that is completely justified. On the Andrew Gosser show, we try to make it to where I am as accurate as possible. And I can tell you this, it's not only a tactic that the crazy left plays, but it is also a tactic that establishment political people will play. They will find one word where you have misspoken, and they will make that misspeak completely submarine whatever topic or issue that you're trying to support and defend. So we have to do that. And we've got people like Eric out there who are plugged in and engaged. We've got people like Rick out there who are plugged in and engaged. Miss Lisa is plugged in and engaged, and about 16 unknown texters. It's phenomenal. You guys really are the best. I am so grateful and thankful for you all texting and calling in. It makes the show go. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show. We are at our last break of the first hour already. We will be right back.
39 WYAB.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Whether you're at home, in your car, or on the field, let Shelter be your shield. Come see me, Jamie Creel.
Attention homeowners and business owners. Complete Exteriors is now Elite Roofing and Gutters. Are your roof and gutters storm ready? The folks at Elite are your local experts in storm protection. Now is the time for an inspection and for proactive solutions that ensure your roof and gutters can withstand any storm. Get up to a possible $250 rebate on a new roofing system for all active military, veterans, and retirees. Online at eliteroofer.com.
Looking for adventure, amazing food, and a little relaxation all in one place? You'll find it at Cypress Point Resort in Brandon. Load up the family and experience a real drive-through safari, petting zoo, and thrilling guided Jeep tours. Then slow it down with mouth-watering steaks at the steakhouse, or grab drinks and live music at the tavern. Planning a wedding or reunion? Cypress Point Resort has beautiful venues and cozy lodging. Ready for your big day or just a weekend escape? It's everything you love about the outdoors with a touch of luxury. Cypress Point Resort. Wild fun right around the corner.
Hi, this is Casey Seymour from Hometown Hardware in Flora. Hunting season is here, and Hometown Hardware in Flora is your local hunting headquarters. Whether you're setting up a new spot or restocking for the season, we've got you covered. We have ground blinds, shooting houses, feeders, food plot mixes, attractants, and much more. We have everything you need for a successful season and the hometown service you can always trust at Hometown Hardware, located at 1085 Highway 49 in Flora, Mississippi.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Are you craving a home-cooked meal without the hassle? Come over to McBee's Bar and Grill in Ridgeland for their Blue Plate lunch specials. Served up every weekday, at McBee's it's a different entree every day. Chicken spaghetti on Mondays, beef tip Tuesday, pork chop Wednesday, spaghetti Thursday, and catfish Fridays. And McBee's Blue Plate lunch comes with 2 classic southern sides and cornbread or a roll. McBee's specials are served every weekday from 11 to 2. McBee's, buzzing the res since 1982.
Hey, this is John with MES. That's Mississippi Energy Services. We sell, service, and install all makes and models of home and business generators. One thing that we do different than a lot of other companies is we do all the work ourselves. We don't use subcontractors. We go from the original estimate, the design, to the final product. That way we can control the quality of the job from the beginning to the end. We are online at msenergy.us.
What are people saying about Tom's Fried Pies in Richland?
I'm on a diet. I don't want to be down there at Tom's Fried Pies. We had a good time. When I tell you the crust was flaky, I'm talking about buttery. This was nothing like I've ever tasted. Ever. I mean, I've never tasted anything like that, man. It was nice. Atmosphere was nice. Everybody there was nice. Because I'll be back, even though I don't supposed to with my diet. I thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Tom'sFriedPies.com. Tom'sFriedPies.com.
UrgeVet Emergency Vets Madison has been serving your pets for 5 years now. From late night emergencies to weekend worries, we have been here caring for your pets when your regular vet isn't available.
From the moment you walk in the door, our team of veterinary professionals is here to care for your pets at all hours of the nights, on weekends, and holidays. Located at 15 Olympic Way in Madison. Call us at 601-790-1918. UrgeVet, always here when your pet needs us most.
Oh, yeah, it is the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. Eric, great phone call last segment, dude. I think you bring a lot of passion and you are spot on. So don't worry about that. You came across great. You know, it's one of those things where we're sitting here and we're trying to make sense of something that truly should not take us that long to break down and figure it out. We're all adults here. We've got intact brain stems. We are operating arguably in the peaks of our lives. We know that this is wrong, and there shouldn't really be that big of a discrepancy between the two. But yet here we are. And before Eric called, we were talking about this letter from the school board from the superintendent. And the truth of the matter is that for me to get through the rest of this letter, there's no way for me to start it in this hour. But I do want you to read this or hear this, because it's almost like a Kamala Harris word salad special. It's one of those things where, and we even know what that is now. We know what a Kamala Harris word salad special is, where you can literally drivel on for minutes at a time and not say nothing. And the truth is that this is so serious to me. It's honestly, I genuinely believe it's one of my passions. Is to try to get more conservative school boards. And in Mississippi, it should be a piece of cake. It should be simple. Sadly, it is not. And we've done such a lousy job of teaching civics. We've done such a lousy job of teaching patriotism. We've done such a lousy job of explaining how local elections work. We've done such a lousy job at explaining how the national government works, that people are disenfranchised, disenchanted, truly don't care, and just kind of want to go on and do their own thing. And that's where we lose, and we keep on. Again, it's like a circle, and you just slice off a little bit at the edge, so you can't really tell it's a circle, or that it's not a perfect circle. And they just slice away and slice away and slice away until you realize you've got a lopsided wheel, a flat tire, but it's too late. You didn't pay attention to all the different things going on. Let's make sure this goes right. And it's one of those things where if we do not nip this in the bud now, if we don't start going after this right now, we're going to be in trouble. And look, I've got other stories on Mississippi education. I'm not here to attack it. I'm just here to point out the problems that we have. Truancy problems. Bad ones. You're listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We're at the top of the hour break. We'll be back in about 8 minutes. Take care, everybody. Be blessed.
This is Central Mississippi's Stimulating Talk.
1039 WYAB. Pocahontas, Jackson.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. President Trump meets today with Ukraine's president at the White House. CBS's Ramy Inocencio reports Volodymyr Zelensky has made it clear he'd like his country to get more American military hardware.
This is U.S. aerial hardware, not just for defense, but also for offense. And this is expected to include things like short and long-range missiles, potentially fighter jets as well, American detection systems so they can wean themselves off Soviet systems. And then there's discussion about the production of drones.
Former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton appeared in court this morning, a day after he was indicted. He pleaded not guilty to mishandling classified information. CBS's Scott McFarland.
This is a particularly elaborate, intricate case. There are 18 felony charges here, including the transmission of and the retention of national defense information. Some of it, according to the prosecutors, is top secret. So they have to create this separate track for this case for classified information.
Bolton says he's become the latest target in the weaponizing of the Justice Department. The Associated Press reports the U.S. has seized survivors of a military strike yesterday on a suspected drug-carrying vessel in the Caribbean. It's day 17 of the federal government shutdown. CBS's Naomi Ruckham says federal workers are struggling to get by without paychecks.
In Salt Lake City, the city and airport officials have teamed up to open a food pantry to support federal employees from several agencies who still have to show up for work without pay.
And CBS's Michael Wallace tells us about Instagram's new string of safety features for teen users.
The changes, which will be rolled out early next year, will address growing concerns
concerns about the impact of AI chatbots, which have been blamed for some recent child suicides. Instagram will offer more parental controls over how teens use its chatbots and its AI characters. The app will also limit chatbot conversations on topics like self-harm, eating disorders, and sex. Last year, Instagram announced teen accounts would be private by default to protect them from predators.
Well, seatbelts and rear-view cameras are at the center of 2 new recalls from Ford. Reporter Jeff Gilbert of affiliate WWJ Detroit.
The seatbelt issue impacts 332,000 Mustangs. Dealers will inspect the parts and make replacements. Ford also recalling 292,000 Super Duty pickups. They have an issue with rear cameras that may not show a proper image. No word of any crashes or injuries related to either recall.
And on Wall Street, right now the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 194 points. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. See why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive to stay protected on the road. See for yourself at Progressive.com.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk.
Local news and weather brought to you by Mississippi Energy Services. We're your fast, affordable, and friendly generator service company. msenergy.us. msenergy.us.
The people they still don't know about. Partly sunny and 89 this afternoon. Tonight it's clear and the low is 65. Saturday, sunny and 88. Then comes the storm possibility Saturday night into Sunday, bringing a cool down. Nicholas Fenner, forecaster with the National Weather Service, says central Mississippi is under a 1 in 5 chance for strong to severe storms.
Damaging wind gusts will be the primary hazard with any severe thunderstorms, but some hail up to quarter size is possible.
Sunday, the high is 78, and much of next week, highs will be in the 70s. You've got news on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis.
Well, lost ones can never be replaced, nor can we eliminate the grief friends and families will bear.
Special agent in charge of the FBI field office in Jackson, Robert Eichhoff, says 9 people have been arrested so far in the killing of 6 people in Leland last Saturday at 4th and Main after homecoming. But he says they are certain more people were involved.
As we seek to resolve this investigation, we believe there are people who have valuable information who have not yet spoken with law enforcement.
Eichhoff says nearly 30 people were hurt, with 19 of those having been shot. You may be following the story of the Tuesday murder of 45-year-old Delilah Harris at the Windsor Village Apartments in Clinton. Now, Clinton police have announced the arrest of 40-year-old Antonio Trinell Miles of Byram. He's charged with murder and being a felon with a firearm. In Jackson, 39-year-old Jimmy Owens is going to prison for life for a betrayal of his girlfriend and her family in 2021. He was caught molesting her 7-year-old daughter at their house on Abraham Lincoln Drive. In Greenville, someone called City Hall there Thursday and said they were going to blow up everyone in the building, then showed up at City Hall. Cops were waiting, and they believe with that arrest, the threat is over. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis.
The views and opinions
Yes, you are. You are plugged in to the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. It is the second hour of the show, and it is Friday, the 17th of October, 2025. Thank God it's Friday. It's finally here. The end of the work week is in sight. We're rolling on. We are streaming on Rumble. We are streaming on X. We are streaming on YouTube. And we are streaming at WYAB.com. If you can't pick up the radio signal, sure would appreciate you following us online. And look, we've got about 25 people right now plugged in just down to my X account, which is pretty cool. So if you wouldn't mind smashing the like button, retweeting it out there, I sure would appreciate it. If you follow me on X, that would be awesome. It's just Andrew Gosser, ANDREW GASSER. If you want to be part of the show today, 601-879-0002. And the text line is open at 601-879-5060. I do got to answer this text. It's kind of off topic, but asking why I don't play the intro music. YouTube actually strikes me every time I do that. So I try not to do that, but at the same time, I also don't restrict what I talk about inside the radio program. So I know that YouTube is going to censor that. But if you wouldn't mind helping me get some visibility out there, I sure would appreciate it. Next Monday in the second hour, Chris Tapia is going to be here. He's a resident of Rankin County, is doing a lot of great stuff to try to bring people and get them more involved in the political process. And it's going to be great to have him on for the full hour. You know, we've got so much more to talk about our school districts, but there is other stuff going on, whether that be the Zorhan Mandami debate and how he's just running away with it. How parents are now getting put on the child abuse registry for leaving their 13-year-old at home to babysit a sibling. I'm telling you, we have completely lost touch with reality. And this show is still there to equip you, the saints. When the righteous increase, the people rejoice. But when the wicked rule, the people groan. And people are moaning and groaning in DeSoto County and in Mississippi. I want to get back to this letter that the superintendent did, because it at one point, it points out everything that needs to happen. But at the other point, it doesn't use good sound judgment to tie both sides of the story together. But we'll get there. Here we go. In Monday's press conference, it was indicated that some DCS, DeSoto County Schools, employees provided character references. Those actions were taken of their own capacities and were not sanctioned by the DeSoto County Schools. Well, the school district can't necessarily limit what you want to do or say, but there can be consequences for it. Even when employees' personal opinions do not align with the school district values, school districts are bound by employment laws and protect the due process and clearly define where and how disciplinary action can be taken. Well, this is the big thing, isn't it? When personal opinions do not align with the school district's values, school districts are bound by employment laws. So we've got this teacher who is grooming and sexually abusing kids. We're going to say that's not in our bylaws. It's not in our value system. And yet you're having people who are supposed to be quote unquote educators, who are educated, who are teaching our kids and saying, hey, this lady over here, she's not such a bad person. See, this is where I think we do need to be held accountable. And accountability is something that this group of people coming up through the ranks, they don't want any accountability. It's always somebody else's fault. Yeah, 17-year-old daughter, I know about it. And you just have to continually push back and try to get your kids to see there's a reason for you being corrected. And those who can accept the criticism, that can accept the correction, are going to turn out so much better than these ones that end up doing this. With that being said, complying with the employment laws does not mean that DeSoto County Schools agrees with or supports the actions of any employees whose behavior conflicts with our own core values. So that's great. You've got people inside your organization who don't agree with what you're doing, but you have to keep them there so that they can continue to poop in the water and make it all rancid and nasty. That's what that means. And I think that's why so many of us who are more on the political right are fed up with public schools. I think that's why we want school choice, so that we can send our kids to a school district or to a school that is more in line with our values. We have to. And the story goes on. Families should show up Thursday and demand accountability. I don't know if Russ is going to have another report on that. I'll definitely look to see if there's anything there. But that's just the one story from Magnolia Tribune and WLBT for providing the color commentary. On the other side, former coach in Mississippi gets 30 years for sex crimes against a teen boy because he's a dude. And because this woman is a chick and she sexually assaults a female student, she gets house arrest. Make it all make sense, people. Make it all make sense. I have tweeted both of those out there. So if you want to go back and read the articles for yourself, you can. I highly recommend that you do. But it doesn't get any better. Report: Mississippi schools face chronic absenteeism. And I realize this is kind of a negative show today. I do. But at the same time, we've got to bring these things to light. We've got to be able to talk about stuff that is uncomfortable. And everybody loves their education, their public school education, but it is failing. More than a quarter of Mississippi students are chronically absent from school, more than 25%. A new report from the Mississippi Department of Education revealed that the rates of chronic absenteeism, defined as missing at least 10% of the year or 18 days of school, are on the rise. While chronic absenteeism rates decreased slightly in the middle and elementary schools, and you would think that because mom and dad are making sure kids are getting on the bus, they don't know how to skip school yet, they're not being negatively influenced by their anxiety devices, younger kids do a better job. Overall, the percentage has been more than doubled from 13% in the 2018-2019 school year to 27.6% during this past school year. 120,408 students. The increase is largely due to a huge uptick among high schoolers. Yep. They know how to skip school, number one. Number two, they know that there aren't any real consequences for skipping school. They just don't care. They say that there's a especially high absentee rate towards the end of the year when some students are exempt from exams. Then they come and try to say that this is just not a Mississippi-specific issue. It's nearly doubled during the COVID pandemic, and that's to be understood. We all have common sense. We all understand that the COVID outbreak and subsequent fear-mongering, I mean, no matter where you turned, you couldn't get away from it. It was just constant fear-mongering. There's reasons why kids don't want to go to school. They've been led to believe through their anxiety devices that they're going to die of the COVID. They got a double and triple mask. It's absolutely ridiculous. They've come out and say that the agency is working hard to combat it. We've already got a plan moving forward, he told the state board members on Thursday. We're beefing that up even more. They're trying to get people to drag kids into school. Man, there are places in Jackson, and you're a truancy officer, you want to go down there and do that? It's absolutely insanity. The truth is kids like to be challenged. They like to know the boundaries and what they can and can't do. And believe it or not, they do actually want to learn. But their BS meter is pegged. And if you try blowing some smoke up some of these kids' rear ends, they're not going to believe you and they're going to look at you differently. I know, I talk to them. And so many of them just want to be treated like a young adult. And I always come back and say, well, if you want to be treated like a young adult, why don't you act like one? Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, exactly. These kids do not understand that their actions have consequences. These kids at 15, 16 years old are already figuring out that there are all sorts of pharmaceutical drugs that they can buy to help them with whatever problem they're having. Mom, I think I need Ozempic. I'm kind of heavy. Mom, I think I need this because of that. Dad, I think I need this because of that. It's not right. And the bottom line is until our public school system is reformed, and honestly, since the Department of Education's been founded, we've only gotten worse. So let's just get rid of that. Let's give control of our schools back to the counties at the county level and let them do the teaching that needs to be done. Parents need to become absolutely more involved. And not just parents who have kids currently at the school district, but grandparents and those who are expected to have kids. This is going to take a whole team collective effort where we start not only teaching the reading, writing, and arithmetic, but manners, customs, courtesies, patriotism. We start teaching the things that our generation just took for granted because we knew if we were going to pop off in Mrs. Kohler's class, not only was Mrs. Kohler going to whoop you, then she was going to send you to Principal Centers and he was going to whoop you, and then he would send you home. And then you were really going to get whooped. And oh, by the way, on Saturday, you're going to be at an in-school suspension for 6 hours. Consider your actions. People change real quick like that. Andrew, that's just being mean and over punishing the kid. No, you know what? Most kids, once they do that and they go through that pipeline, they discontinue that behavior. This article continues to go on and on. This, by the way, is coming from the Mississippi Today. Again, I know that's a left-wing source, but you know what? Other people aren't talking about the chronic absenteeism, and they are. Do we just immediately throw this article out with the bathwater because it comes from left-wing source, or can we walk through it, pick out the salient points? I'm not going to. It's not that this article has woke, but it definitely tries to couch the leftist side, and I'm not going to do that. So, thank you for your service. Opinion. Don't derail Mississippi's education momentum with vouchers and choice. Opinion. Don't derail Mississippi's education and momentum with continuing the status quo. That's what I would say. The status quo needs to change. It is from average at best to disturbingly horrific at its worst. Oh, you're talking down all school teachers. No, I'm not. I talk to a lot of them. And they wish they had more control and discipline in their classrooms. But when you have the supervisors breathing down the necks of the teachers, wanting to do certain things that aren't necessarily conducive to having an effective learning environment inside the classroom, well, this is where you get these disconnects from. When legislators talk about school choice and diverting public dollars to private schools, they often package it as empowering parents. But after years of underfunding and unfair criticism, Mississippi's public education is seeing a measurable success. This is true. But even with all the successes that they're having, they're still woefully behind. And parents are the ultimate arbiters of their kids. They make the decisions. If I remember correctly, it's $12,185 per student is spent by the federal and state governments and local governments to educate your child. And if you want to take the extra time and extra money to send your kid to a charter school, a private school, a Christian school, well, then I feel you should be able to do it. You think about some of these kids who live in Jackson, who have relatives that live out in the different county, out in the middle of nowhere. They'll go live with their grandparents or their aunties and aunties, uncles, because they don't want to be trapped in that system. I don't want kids to be trapped in that system. Up through 8th grade, for my boys, they were in a private school, and then they went to public high school. They turned out okay. But there were a lot of times where we had to point out stuff. You know, when my son was graduating, we were pointing out all the wokeness, and this would have been 2013, 2014. The wokeness is real. The wokeness is terrible, and it's creeping up. We're going to take our first break of the second hour. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We will be right back.
WYAB.
Have you noticed all these people acting like the sky is falling? All this tariff talk has folks real nervous, but at Eye Gear Optical, we've got you covered. Our prices remain solid on all our quality products, while all other shops are raising prices. We are not. Come get a great pair of eyeglasses, computer glasses, or sunglasses that fit you, your lifestyle, and your budget every day at Eye Gear Optical, 2630 Highway 80 East in Pearl, and on the web at eyegearoptical.com.
Antique Mall of the South has 14,000 square feet of pristine, clean floor space. Home to beautiful, timeless antique treasures. Antique Mall of the South is open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 5. Check them out online at antiquemallofthesouth.com or go to the Antique Mall of the South Facebook page. You can also read the dozens of 5-star reviews online. Come see for yourself at Antique Mall of the South in Ridgeland. Now open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 5. That's Antique Mall of the South, Highway 51 in Ridgeland.
Hi, this is Lee Atkins of Home Care Plus in Ridgeland. We are a proud carrier of Abena Premium Incontinence products. Abena has the most absorbency available, making changes and leaks less likely. After 7 years as a seller, I can tell you these products are amazing and worth every penny to quality of life for patient and caregiver. And we ship all incontinence products as well. So please come see us at Home Care Plus in Ridgeland for all the incontinence needs of you or your family member. That's Home Care Plus in Ridgeland.
Whether new construction or remodeling, Stephen Arrington and his team at Elite Custom Construction can design and build your dream kitchen and cabinets, inside and outside. Using high-quality products, Elite Custom Construction specializes in cabinetry and intricate millwork. Established in 2011, licensed and insured, Elite Custom Construction is your solution to your next project. Call Stephen at 601-927-0552 or visit them online at elitecustomconstruction.net.
Doctor, the AC doctor, what's your diagnosis? My whole house was hot as a fever. Now my house frozen, cause my air conditioning's old. Doctor, my AC's broken. Doctor, the AC doctor, heal my house, bless my soul.
The AC Doctors is your one-stop provider for air conditioning and heating installation, service, and repair. Contact us for money-saving repairs and lower energy bills.
Doctor, the AC doctor, heal my house, bless my soul.
Google the AC Doctors and get some relief today. TheACDR.com.
Hi, this is Casey Holcomb with Mississippi Hometown Realty. This is the perfect weather for football and the perfect time to buy or sell a home. I have a passion for helping people achieve their real estate goals. So when you're ready to buy or sell, I want you to call me first, Casey Holcomb with Mississippi Hometown Realty. Visit mshomesforyou.com. That's mshomesforyou.com. I'm Casey Holcomb, doing what I love and loving what I do.
MS license number 51833 by phone 601-398-1620.
Our flag was still there. The official 250th celebration flag is available at a complete flag source on I-55 North in Jackson. It's just one way you can show your appreciation for the greatest country on earth. Flags for all occasions. International and state flags too. Flagpole construction available. You can check it out at CompleteFlags.com. A complete flag source, I-55 North in Jackson.
Oh, yeah. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. Had a great phone call during the break and brought up a great point. You know, we're so concerned about busing our kids out of bad school districts and putting them into good school districts. And people have seen the negative effects that's had, where school districts completely change their demographics, they completely change their culture, they completely change how they teach because of busing in people from outside their school district. But the other thing would be, how do we get better teachers to go into some of these school districts that are failing? I know a lot of school teachers who will go in and start teaching in Jackson, but the first chance they can get out of Jackson, they do. Why don't the good teachers stay in Jackson? Could it be that the supervisors, the administration is not doing a good job either? No one wants to follow an absolutely horrible leader. There's just so much more to this story. And the truth of the matter is that public education compared to when Gen X went through is woeful. We don't teach cursive anymore. We don't teach basic phonics anymore. We don't teach mathematics the same way anymore. And we're lost. We are absolutely falling behind. There are a lot of other stories that I want to get to. Memorial for Charlie Kirk canceled after threats. You don't hear about the right threatening events. But here it happened in Utah County, Utah. A peaceful birthday memorial planned in honor of conservative leader Charlie Kirk has been canceled due to safety threats, organizers announced. The event, intended as a candlelight gathering to celebrate Charlie's life and legacy, was canceled due to a concern for public safety. Think about that. Those of us who are in the middle. I'm not worried about those on the right or those on the left. They're locked into their views. What's it say when you can't even get together to mourn somebody who clearly had so much impact on our society? It's absolutely frightening. If we keep going down this road, you're not going to be able to even say you're conservative anymore. Look at what's happening in the UK and France specifically, where they are completely destroying their own citizens to satisfy some woke agenda. You know, people think, oh, you have an illness. There's some type of bacteria or biological problem with you. The mental illness is just as bad. In fact, it can be worse. People in the chat saying that the debate on school choice, it's a tough one. Um, I don't think it is. I think school districts have to be mindful and saying, look, we have room for 145 students in our school. That's a small school district. Let's say 500 kids in our school district, and we're at 483. We can have 13 people from outside the district come in. And oh, by the way, we've got 2 kindergartners, 1 first grader, 1 third grader, 3 fourth grade, whatever it is. And that's what they come in. You don't sit there and try to bump up your school district to try to get more funding because that's not going to work. People also say that homeschooling and charter schools don't work and private schools don't work. They do. They work much better than the public option. Do they have their faults? They have their problems? Absolutely. But these, and we see it right, like here in Clinton, we can't have a Turning Point USA chapter. I don't get it. Organizers and supporters are also calling on President Donald J. Trump to consider placing a statue in the White House Rose Garden as a national tribute to honoring Charlie Kirk, the modern-day martyr. Look, I think we can't really make those decisions on Charlie yet. The truth of the matter is we're all still really emotional, raw. Some of us are hurt more than others. We don't get it when we see our neighbors sitting there cheering the death of somebody like that. Don't get it. But I'm not necessarily sure I'm ready to start putting statues in Washington or anything like that. I do think a statue on universities is relevant. Charlie Kirk lost his life over free speech on an American campus. You're telling me that we don't got issues, that we don't need reform, not just in K through 12, but in undergrad, grad, and postdoc. Need great reforms there. This is a long trip, but it's all starting to get pushed out now. We're starting to see different things, and as this continues to unfold, we'll continue to document it, whether it be poor sentencing for sexual assault on high school students, or whether it be universities not allowing free speech on campus. We'll see where it takes us. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We will be right back. 9 WYAB.
.9 WYAB.
The best investment on earth is earth. This is real estate agent Shane Saxton. As I like to say, the government can print more money, but they can't print more land. In the past 2 years, I've sold over $100 million in real estate. Call me today to get your land and home sold, because Saxton Sales isn't just a slogan. It's backed up by hundreds of satisfied clients just like you.
Find one of Mississippi's top real estate agents, Shane Saxton, on Facebook, or call Shane at 601-540-5040. Hopper Property, 601-724-1435.
This is Lori at the Mailroom Gluckstadt with exciting news. We now offer photo services and large format printing, such as banners, yard signs, blueprints, and canvas prints. We also print business cards, invitations, photos, and more. And with the holidays coming fast, let us print your Christmas cards. Many projects may be ready the same day, and the Mailroom Gluckstadt is still your place for shipping, drop-offs, and gift wrapping. Visit us at 272 Calhoun Station Parkway, across from Callaway's in Gluckstadt. MailroomGluckstadt.com.
CBS News brief. In a Maryland courtroom, former National Security Advisor John Bolton pleaded not guilty today to mishandling classified documents. CBS's Nicole Skanga.
Prosecutors have appeared to use quotes from Bolton from over the years in the indictment about use of classified information, about what's right and wrong, to demonstrate intent.
The Associated Press reports the U.S. has seized survivors of a military strike yesterday on a suspected drug-carrying vessel in the Caribbean. The U.S. is known to have targeted 6 boats off the coast of Venezuela. It's the first known case of survivors. President Trump meeting with Ukraine's President Zelensky at the White House today. CBS's Nancy Cordes says Trump says he told Russia's Vladimir Putin he might give Ukraine what it wants, American Tomahawk missiles.
It appears that he wants to use this as a bargaining chip for now.
CBS News Brief. I'm Steve Kathan.
Back in 1984, we started the fast service oil chain, and for over 40 years, Rapid Oil Change has been the leader in oil changes and fast service. We accept most major fleets and offer local 30-day in-house accounts as well. We do more than just change oil. From tires, wiper blades, tire sensors, just to name a few. Don't forget to show your ride some love with a trip to our Laser Wash 360, the best touchless wash in town, open 24/7. If you're not driving hard with Castrol Edge, come see us today. 6 locations, 6 days a week. We're ready to serve. OilChangeMS.com.
Here's a word from John White, the owner of Two Gun Tactical in Flowood and Ridgeland.
I carry a gun every day, all the time. Last year in America, 2 million legal guns were pulled and it stopped the threat. So I'm really wearing a firearm just to stop the threat. There's more likelihood of me just pulling it and not using it than there is using it. TwoGunTactical.com, TwoGunTactical.com.
Two Gun Tactical, the South's only country club.
Looking to elevate your ride? Weston Automotive and Rick's Pro Truck have you covered. From rugged bumpers to sleek step bars, Weston's top-notch accessories will transform your truck into a head-turner. And at Rick's Pro Truck, we specialize in custom installations that bring your vision to life. Visit us today for expert advice and unbeatable deals. Weston Automotive and Rick's Pro Truck, where your truck's potential comes alive. Weston and RPT. Trucks live here. You often hear life referred to as running a race. The same can be said for financial planning and investing. Think of Wheeler Parker as your track coach to help you run your best financial life. Wheeler Parker provides decades of investment and wealth management strategy and experience in navigating life's hills, valleys, and curves, strictly from a financial perspective, of course. Life's a race. It takes money to run it well. And whether you're just out of the blocks or approaching the finish line, Wheeler Parker is here for the journey. Wheeler Parker, Financial Advisor, 601-607-7596.
Yeah, welcome back to the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. I've got so many more stories that I want to get to, so I'm just going to kind of shotgun them with the sound clips, and we've got to talk about Zorhan Mandami. Andrew, he's not in Mississippi. No, but he's looking at Mississippi, and people like him are looking at Mississippi. And do not think for 1 second that this cannot come here. This is coming from Fox News. Just listen to this.
So a lot of individuals in this city pay more than 50% of their income in taxes. When you talk about a fair share, how much more than, what is the fair share? What's the number?
I've said that we should increase personal income
So
taxes by
52% is fair?
And my point is this.
Give up more than half of your income. That's
if you're making $1 million in New York City or more than that, you can afford to pay 2% more. And the reasons you can afford to do so is because that money will be used to better your quality of life as well.
Yeah.
Because when I speak to the wealthiest New Yorkers, I hear concerns about the cleanliness of the city, the quality of life in the city, questions of public safety. This money is the money that will be used to deliver on those things so that we can ensure that we have a return on investment for all of the money that we are raising and spending right here across the 5 boroughs.
He is the 2025 version of Bill Clinton. He is very well spoken. He cleans up nice, beautiful smile. Happy to be here, proud to serve. Every day's a holiday, every meal's a feast. And it's only 2% of your income. Here's the big lie. For those of you who are on the left and the Democrats, think about this. They say it's only 2%. But what is 2% of your budget? Do you see how they are pitting classes against each other? Over half of what you make in a year goes to some level of government. Who wants to work? We are punishing people's ability to go out and work hard and make money. The thing about it is, if you go out and work hard and make money, you want to keep that money. And this is the exact reason that so many people who are in New York, whether they're in the 5 boroughs or they're in the state, are getting the heck out of New York. Because this is taking over. And the truth of the matter is more leftists are gonna move into New York, more right-wing people are gonna move out, and we'll see how that shakes out. But we have our favorite poll analyzer, Harry Enton. He's got a quick segment on this too, and it is worth listening to because this just brings the whole Zorhan Mandami thing into a nice, neat little package.
No, there is no sign that the race is tightening at all, Kate Baldwin. If anything, Zora Mandani's lead is getting bigger, wider, larger. You look in September in a three-way, Mandani was at 45, Cuomo 15 points back, Curtis Lewa, the Republican, at 17. Look at where we are now. Mandani is actually up. He's up to 49%. Then you got Cuomo at 31%, so a 15-point advantage back in September on the average. Now it is 18 points. The bottom line is this. Andrew Cuomo needs something very big to change at this particular point, unless, of course, he becomes Teddy Roosevelt overnight. Because if something doesn't change over the final 2.5 weeks of this campaign, this race is pretty much over.
I have to say, in my years of experience in politics, and I'm not saying I'm the know-all, end-all, but I've seen a few races, and having an 8-point lead with 18-point lead with 2 weeks to go, that is balling. You are in a great position to win. And you're going to have this socialist go in there and completely gut New York. Our mega metropolises, our cities are crumbling, much like Rome. And sadly, so many of us are blind to it. We are not paying attention to what's happening. And that's what's the great thing about WYAB in general. You've got Chip and Clay in the morning who are so focused locally. You've got Kim in the afternoon who's so focused locally. I'm a little bit more of the national, see what's going on kind of thing. And these are the things that I'm noticing and seeing. But at the same time, we've got the Zorhan Mandami thing. You've got people in other places like Minneapolis and Boston who are starting to realize that, hey, this isn't so great. This isn't so great. He's up 18 points. AI. I've told you about this. And listen to these two protesters.
Are you happy about the ceasefire?
Honestly, I like protesting, so not really.
So why don't you protest for the Christians in Nigeria?
Oh, how much are they paying?
How much are they paying? We know that there's paid protesters for Palestine. We know it. Now, if you didn't know any better, what you just heard, you've been like, yep, that's a YouTube TikToker. What if I told you that was Sora 2 and AI? That was AI, ladies and gentlemen. And let me tell you, the lady had the pink hair and was just your stereotypical Palestinian protester, American Palestinian protester. And the guy had the nose ring and the septum ring, and he was out there too. And the sad thing about this is that this has been shared over 5,000 times. It's got over 14,000 likes, 529,000 impressions. And this is how they dilute humanism. I mean, honestly, it's like the Matrix breaking out into humanity. Because you can't trust what you see on YouTube anymore or X. You've got to be very careful. You wouldn't even know that was AI unless you saw the little Sora logo pop up at the very end. You wouldn't even know. And in our society where we just think really quickly, react, get all fired up, it's not good. Well, I was doing research and show prep last night. This came across my feed, and I thought it was really valuable. It's actually quite sad.
So, about a month ago, I came across a sentence in my textbook and it read identities, describing identities. And one identity that it pointed out was Christianity. And in parentheses, the book reiterated that Christianity is a US based white supremacist group, which I was mind blown because the textbook did not describe any other identities besides Christianity. I had opened my textbook to read chapter 8, which was titled Contested Identities Shifting Publics in a Globalized World. The way it was worded, it listed several marginalized groups, but then only called Christians to be white supremacists. But the scariest thing is that the book was written in 2007. Therefore, this has been shared for almost 20 years and it was never questioned.
And you wonder why we're so screwed up. I tell people this all the time. Politics is a long game. You've got to play it. And the liberals and the left, they are playing it. This really started in the 40s, right after World War II. Major turn happened in the 60s with the hippies and the turning away from Christianity in America. It's terrible. I want to actually go look up the book and read it. I'm sure I can find it online. But the bottom line is that, again, in our education system, this was in the undergrad level, that book that lady was talking about. It's everywhere. And it's quite frankly going to be up to all of us to figure out how we're going to fix this. Because if we keep marching down the road we're going on, it's not going to be great. And we do not want a civil war. We don't want violence. There are so few people who, even those on the left who are longing for this, don't truly realize what they're about to get themselves into. It's not good. Illinois continues to be a crazy place. Rioters wearing Mexican flags clash with politics or clash with police in Illinois. The state police are actually helping now. They're literally defying Governor Pritzker and the mayor there. And maybe that's where the line of sanity comes. The thin blue line is just like, look, this is stupid. We're not doing this. If you look at the tactics that are being used in Chicago right now, where they're actually ramming ICE vehicles, then they get out of the vehicles, the protesters surround the drivers and whisk them away, and they get away with it. Man, that is, again, who would have thought this just 5 years ago? Americans ramming squad cars and federal police vehicles. The tactic is there. It's all being played out right in front of us. So much craziness going on. Anyways, those were some of the other stories I had. I didn't have enough time to really be fair with another one. When we get back, it's the final segment of the week. Fellas, what you got ready to go on this weekend? What are you going to do fun with your beautiful bride, your spouse, your kiddos? Yep, we're going to talk about that when we get back. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. Oh, yeah. It is the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. It's been a great week here on the radio. I am so grateful and thankful to be back in America. You know, sometimes you take a trip outside America, you kind of learn to appreciate how great our country really is, no matter all of its shortcomings, no matter all of what's not going necessarily right in the country. You could be overseas. You could be in a place that doesn't have the Bill of Rights, that doesn't have real free speech. Man, I just think about what's going on in England and in France. It's just a mess. It's just an absolute mess. And the great thing is we're in America, so we can actually do something about it should we choose. You know, earlier this week we had Blake Bartlam on, full of energy. The next generation of patriots is going to be a different gravy. They are going to be so much quicker, agile, being able to maneuver, to outflank. They're strategists, and they understand what they're being dealt. They do realize that the greatest generation and the generations after them have kind of taken advantage of all the quality of life that we've had. And we haven't necessarily built it up to the point to where as we're getting ready to hand this off. And look, people are passing away every day. Rest in peace, Ace Frehley. You know, we're getting ready to age out here. And what do we want to say we left our kids? What can you say you've left your kids or your spouse? All sorts of things going on there. This weekend is going to be a great weekend with the Sweet Bee. We won't be in Spain, but we will be in Mississippi. Praise God for that. What we're going to do, I'm thinking this weekend, we're just going to have a nice weekend at home. Move the sheep. Move the chickens. We're going to sell some chickens. Rick, I got your turkey, man. And we're just going to enjoy each other. We're going to enjoy time with our daughter and her friends. We're going to enjoy time at church with our parishioners and our friends. Men, I can't tell you just how important it is to go that little extra mile for your spouse. Love, honor. The return is tenfold. And ladies, it works the same way with us guys. I genuinely hope and pray that everybody has a wonderful weekend with their spouse. I hope you go out and have a wonderful date night. I hope you go out and spend the day outside. I mean, the weather is just beautiful right now in Mississippi. Hopefully the storms aren't too bad this weekend. And in another 46 hours, we will be back, ready, locked, loaded, ready for liftoff and launch. You all have a wonderful and blessed weekend, everybody. Take care, be blessed, and we'll see you next week.